Hello and welcome to a new episode on your Learn channel. Today I'm going to show you how you can use a force sensor. For this project we require one Arduino Uno board, a few jumper wires, one 10 Kiloohm resistor, one 220 ohm resistor, one colored LED, and one force sensor. I've used in this project a breadboard, but of course when you are going to build your project, all these wires will be soldered, so just for testing purposes you can use a breadboard. Now, this is how this project is going to work. As you can see from this code, we have three variables. One variable for the force sensor called sensor pin, one variable for the LED called the LED pin, and one variable to store all the values received from the force sensor. In the setup section, we declare the LED pin as output, and we start in the loop section where we are going to read the values from the sensor and store them into the sensor value variable. The serial print and serial print line sensor value are used so that we can make certain adjustments for when the LED should turn on or off. In this case, if the sensor value, so if the force applied to this sensor is higher than 2 newtons, 748 corresponds to a force higher than 2 newtons, then this text will appear on the serial monitor, but more important, the LED will start blinking. It will be turned on for 500 milliseconds and then it will be turned off for another 500 milliseconds. Else, if the force applied to this sensor is below 2 newtons, the LED will be turned off. Now, let's have a look at the schematic. As you can see, one of the pins of the force sensors is connected to analog pin 1, and the same wire is connected to a 10 kilo ohm resistor, and this in turn is connected to the ground. The other leg of the sensor is connected to the 5 volts power supply of the Arduino Uno board. The LED cathode is connected to a 220 ohms resistor, and that in turn is connected to the ground of the Arduino Uno board. The anode of the LED is connected to digital pin 8 of the Arduino Uno board. Now, this sensor, as you can see, as soon as we're going to start the simulation, it has a button to simulate the force applied to it. So when the force applied increases, the Arduino Uno board will read those values, and if they exceed 2 newtons of force, then the LED will start blinking. If the pressure, the force applied to this sensor decreases below 2 newtons, then the LED will stop blinking. Now, let's start the simulation. And right here, you can see the force applied. So let's start applying more and more force. I'm going to increase the force applied, and it will exceed 2 newtons. You see the LED had started blinking, because that's the limit that we wrote in the code. As soon as this force will decrease below 2 newtons, the LED will stop blinking. Now, let's have a look at the code and have a look in the serial monitor. As you can see, the simulation keeps on running. And we see right over here the values received from the pressure sensor. Right now, the value is 0, but as soon as we are going to increase the force, we see that the values received by the Arduino Uno board are increasing. So let's increase more and more and more. And as you can see, as soon as I will reach almost 2 newtons, the value, it says 748, and the text enter right here, high value, appears. As soon as I decrease the force applied to this sensor, so does the values received by the Arduino Uno board. Now, this project is very useful in combination with other electronics equipments. It is up to your imagination to know in what conditions and for what situations you think this project is suitable for you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.